Huge sprint Saturday at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix from the capital city today. 20 turns, the old and the new combined in third place, for sure, going from reverse grid pole today. Where the moment can take you out, even if you like it. In the commentary box, I'm Alex Jakes, joined by two-time podium finish.
Two leading challengers. The grid's reversed, of course, for this sprint race. Short rundown to T1. Let's have a look at the rest of the grid.
So Richard Verstappen, he's looking for a repeat podium position. Jen Deruvala was very close in pole position yesterday for Oliver Behrman. He is in 9th place. He's next up in his camp. Juan Manuel Correa has been on the rostrum here before in a sprint next to Roy Nissany in 20th position, the back row of the field.
Early on in the session, down at turn 1, caught the wall. No such issues for bent steering from a little bit of contact with the wall earlier on in the session. This is a patch around the world and set these cars up with lasers.
Top 10 to set our grid for this one from that session, and you can see the top 3 in your...
But I don't want to put myself so much expectation when I'm in the safety cars. Loads of safety car restarts to think about.
And then even if I have a bit of a gap, I think P1 at the start, that's the main point to achieve.
So if Zane Maloney is able to get alongside, it's big here. He will be desperately hoping for points at the end of
the season, which has been that all the way through. Brad Benavides. Medical car is pulling into place. We await the green flag at the back. Formula 2 is underway with an even getaway of reaction time. For sure has damage to the front wing, and going to the inside is Hauger, car number 1. Front wing damage at the front, he does now, because through goes Hauger to 2nd position.
I have a puncture. Yes, right.
Time he gets to turn 7.
And was it due to that little bit of contact? Zane Maloney has no grip under the tyres of these Formula 2 cars. So many drivers being...
Where we have the front row expiring from contending.
So much action down towards turn 1. For sure, we're hearing has stopped.
Who's taking a position at turn 16. Don't see many overtakes there, because usually then it's Martins, Deruvala, Crawford, and fighting at the back.
Through all that, it is Hauger from the 3rd row of laps, and that's what's caught them out here, but it looks like it's starting to come to these.
Keep yourself in contention here. You know the likelihood of a safety car, or maybe it would have been the first with the Dutch team for sure. It would have been his first in the championship.
Maloney on the right of your screen, just for sure doesn't quite get away. His perspective gets the best start of all from the 2nd row of the grid, but absolutely no tyres up.
And then hitting Maloney. DRS is now enabled as half a second. This is Vesti late on the brakes to the apex of turn 1 first, and up to trying to find a way by in the battle for what is now 5th position, and championship rival he's lost a place at Wasser after all the action.
On the grid after that grid job, already finds himself up in 6th. Smarts that tyre, you can see the right rear tyre eventually given
for Boschong. Ralph Boschong's tumbling town timing sector, and it won't be points for the Swiss driver. It will be a retirement, and it's our first.
Martins has been noted for causing a collision. In the meantime, this safe coming in to retire in the pit lane. So Maloney thinking better of it. He's gone back out and realised he's got suspension damage. This kind of issue. Ralph Boschong, let's see what's befallen him. Did well to spot it quickly and move that car out of the way.
Castle walls down there, the old city walls, 12th century city walls. On the restart, and where we were able to get back going, and real disappointment.
If you think it through the way past the castle here in back in.
That winner's confidence in different machinery, that's available if he can later on. Our race leader was...
I mean, we got the simulator and we sort of tendency to go really late here because of that long straight for the safety. The longest straight before T1, but it's always a bit of a commitment thing. With
super tough now. Remember the start. They arrive at T1. Front tyre moving through the air, cooling. Both of those items of the car to perform at their maximum as have now.
That's the challenge they'll be thinking about, they'll be considering. They knew they would need safety cars today. We've never run without one in Campos. We thank all of the marshals around the circuit that allow us to go racing. It can freeze, air temperature, I know you want that as well, 23 degrees out around Baku.
Never has the late restart been more tempting before he lets it go. The field need to be expecting that from behind.
cars trying to generate all the temperature they know.
Give himself a little bit of front brake temperature, and now Hauger goes as we go green.
Decision that's laid on the brakes by the P2 man, and will they all make the first corner? With Jack could not find the momentum. If anything, he's under pressure from 7th place. Order Behrman got close, not close enough, thinking about the late move to the ins in the top 8 score in the F2 sprint.
Kushmani looking feisty actually in qualifying as they continue to battle. This is Isaac Hadjar.
Came down to it in qualifying. They able to repair that suspension, but he was in with the base setup of his car, and Ruvala was close to the
cars will still not be up to full operating temperature. 3rd place man in the
Vesti doesn't know where to point the car, and in the end and he knows that DRS is coming right now. No need to take a late lunge,
and this is a genuine fight for P2 as Daruvala continues to turn 3.
Daruvala and Vesti fighting for their place on the air. Either way, got it slowed down. It's in the balance for the race place American on the evidence of the early laps so far. That could, though, just be...
Cars fall out, cars go wide, cars have issues, and inevitably, you fell out of 15th, yeah. You can get a lot of kid-offs. 0.4 on our timing screen, away from Victor Martins behind. Expect
enough for a move down there. That does not apply to Oliver Behrman, who is to the in Formula 2 pole for the feature race today, making good headway.
Passing what was a damaged car to pole position. Still this battle, though, at the front. Oof, very, very close indeed to the wall, and then very, very...
Expecting him to hit it, he was so close. That was ridiculous stuff as he makes his way through. Leader, who picked his way through the action really nicely, and also Cushman
in 17th place, just appearing unable to make any headway, slightly from Victor Martins, but the DRS zone will sort that. Falling out,
particularly tight at the front. On board with Oliver Behrman, on board with the driver taking in
a little bit mirror signal manoeuvre with his hands there into turn 1.
Who is behind him? He will have seen his teammates' data. They're all around the same table back at Government House, and it is far more proximate with just 12 people that can work closing in. Out front, Martin seems to have a great drive out of 2.
Martin's in the hunt, which is why he can't make the move. Shortened DRS zone, but in theory Formula 1 cars can follow each other more closely. Formula 2 cars are negating this second of the lap. DRS zone making it...
For the moment, maybe an element of tactics as well. Do you want final lap? Fastest lap again for Oliver Behrman, the 3rd place finisher in Formula 3. Second Prema put the move on. He thinks about that dart to the apex.
The apex again knew that Behrman, if he got shuffled out by Vesti, question about why he wasn't able to make progress.
DRS open?
Yeah.
Total write-off of a weekend for him so far. With the race leader, he's keeping within that second, and it's the roles reversed. Start worrying about this man soon. Pole sitter for tomorrow with the steering. This is turning into a charge. 9th on the grid to 4th in the race.
That Prema look actually catch Martins and Hauger out front. It's going to be an invasion.
You are in a game of cat and mouse. They really are feeling out. The team will be aware of what happened in the sprint last year with their driver now
at the top of the programme. It was Victor Martins saying you need to keep some tyres in them to come through the second sector as Iwasa brings in the dams.
They manually close the DRS. One Red Bull Junior driver, the championship a couple of years ago. That is a championship that he won in his... We've had 5 of them. Hauger trying to make it 6.
Almost breaking the DRS. Hauger moving away out front, the fastest lap of the race last time round. Martin...
So Yumo Iwasa. And there you go.
At the rear of a Formula 2 car. So I suspect that puff of smoke...
Be poised out front. Vesti and Behrman just looking after the tyres. Background. Alex, we've spoken about the track being resurfaced. The teams do have...
Seems to have maintained their kind of low energy feel to it, the track surface, taking the energy out of the sidewall of the tyre a little bit, but much hotter track conditions today. So
yeah, good way to describe it, because it was only 0.03 of a second faster.
Them went into management mode just in case there was a late safety car. All of a sudden, Vesti though, another 2/10, seems to be a bit better in that first sector. 90-degree lefts that make up the first sector. After that,
he's clear of both of them by a couple of tenths of a second. So these two will now... That's exactly what he did on his way to his first Formula 2 victory 12 months ago.
To the wind rather than trying to manage that situation with ball to deliver the laps, which shows they've both got tyre left. Chance you'll have Behrman on your gearbox as well.
He's looking for all the world, looking for Leclerc trying to make the move. The driver currently in 10th, neither one of them scoring points at the moment. The same pace on the medium compound of tyre.
Stands for Leclerc, over 50 that it has been previously. It's that little bit of unsucceed the lead of the championship to Porsche at least.
And a feature can be a huge swing, F1 Grand Prix style. It was all far too well behaved out there. That will be a safe.
Looks like he's just got wide and high. We'll have a look at it. And
not out, but it surely will be.
It surely will be.
The safety car at the very least.
Yeah, well, they're still making their way through the.
Maybe it's a long lunch down there in race.
See, I think he's just going to get a little wide. It's already wide on the way in. Just into the outside.
I know. Very sorry, guys.
They will already be making plans as to which spares they'll need and make sure that that car is ready to rock and roll. Safety car out
now on the circuit. After a lot of the work.
Recovery vehicle.
The drivers up to the brink, but it's not just Formula 2, it's Formula 1 as well.
Completed of the 21. There's also, I can see on the timing safety car speed. Let's see if they make laps or time on this one.
Alex, you were talking.
Most of the at the factory, so the driver can really train and for the restart. But especially here in Baku, because it's very challenging. And
we've been bringing you some of the team personnel as well for a more complete picture.
Degree done their job at that point, at least from a team manager's perspective. So during the manager's role and making provision for the things which the driver needs to the series, they don't actually know what they need yet. Why would you? Year in, year out, they've seen the errors, they've accounted for the error. Car restart. Let's avoid that problem before we have it. Let's simulate it. And the fastest
driver out there before we had the safety car was Oliver Behrman, our feature race pole, checking in with the MP team, and it's an MP driver in the lead. Maloney punching for Maloney, exit at turn 7 on the opening lap for sure. So he came back to retire. Roy Nissany has hit the wall at turn 15. That is the story.
Clearing that incident. So this one looks as though it will go the time around.
We've got lapped cars out there in the rule book. And going through the procedure, that is confirmation of that.
They've popped a new suspension element basically on that, and then sent that you can possibly take that you would get it. But if it's any good, he's gone no, I would imagine, and then put it in the pit.
We were waiting maybe for Maloney to
race as well. Just give him another look and another feel of it.
We had the fastest driver of the quartet in 4th position, closing in.
The big problem they got now is both Premers, I think, are likely to, of this top 4, before we went to the safety car, looked like
intriguingly poised at the moment. The Mylander, and we are set for a grandstand finish around if he's going to take a second victory of the season.
Throttle application, and you've got to react so.
At the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in this one, we are going to see the green between Behrman. Oh, into the wall, massive crash, and that is extra stuff. We have gone from Hauger leading, battling against Martins, to Vespa. We're still racing, we're still under green.
They just had no brake performance.
Tested, and Behrman's got it on the racetrack for the moment. He had better
on his engine cover. Teo Porchere's down there as well, and Artelid in the wall, having climbed over the back of the MP Motorsport.
Doing further round the lap as well. And as well, Hauger spinning round, and Martins is parked on.
And it's both. Wow, both Hauger and Martins just.
Rue Martins.
Oof.
So, Hauger's going to clip the wall, so is Martins. Taruvla has nowhere to go.
No braking performance. And Hauger, the same thing. They're going on ahead and have very similar levels of no grip. No, he's lost it.
And is doing locked up before even getting to the apex of the MP car. And then we all took a big gulp of air.
Bestie almost drops it in turn 4. He has exactly the same temperature for the load and for the weight. Until they're within, when you put your foot on the brake pedal, and quite literally nothing towards turn 1, especially when they're racing wheel to wheel.
2 point. Isaac, just calm down. Focus on your...
So this is Behrman's view of the crash. Oliver Behrman, what a shot that is. Doing losing it in the background on the way in. If it had gone red flag...
And then none at the rear, they both grab, and you actually loop the car.
Finding the wall and sending... We're on the final tour. We thought it was going to be slightly more dramatic than this, the actual final lap of the race. Position for Correa's third point scoring appearance from Kushmani, who's having wonderful starring roles throughout all.
At the end, but Oliver Behrman drove a brilliant race there in terms of his pace. Finds Martins parked in the wall and has a very nasty incident underneath another Formula 2 car through basically no fault of his own.
Themselves in the wall in the latter stages of a race at turn 1. Place finisher in Formula 3 last year in the championship, has had great pace. The laps are complete, and Oliver Behrman's late move. Superb stuff. Cool Schumacher impression from Silverstone in 1998. Behrman able to directly applaud him immediately.
Down at turn 1, but it does give the team at Prema quite incredible outcome with half the field out of the race.
We win the race?
Mate, you won the race and you have